everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And welcome to another episode for you guys tonight. And we are going to be having a look at what's next for Liverpool in this transfer window. Of course, yesterday the news broke that Liverpool have officially completed the signing of course, Darwin Núñez. Of course, we'll be having Doug's thoughts on that as well, of course. But we'll also be speaking about contract extensions tonight. We'll also be speaking about, what, do Liverpool need now for the rest of the season in this market? And of course, we'll also be speaking about Sadio Mane and what's going on in that situation as well. Anyway, but I did say I am joined by a very special guest, and it's Doug from the Dugout Football Channel. Doug, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you very much for inviting me on, and hope you had a very, very good birthday yesterday.
It was decent. It was extra decent because of Darwin Núñez. I'm not gonna lie on that anyway. But guys, if anyone does want to join as well, please feel free to. It is in the comment section down below. It is pinned. It is a pinned comment. So if anyone does want to come on, then please come on and have your say anyway. As well, thank you to everyone as well that's new around here, all the subscribers and all the views yesterday. It was unbelievable with Darwin Núñez. So thank you very much for that, and hopefully you stick around and enjoy the content as well. Of course, I say it's off season, but realistically, we're right back in the middle of things. Yet again, full on season. It's less than a month away. I think it's 26 days now for Liverpool are back in action, which is unbelievable, and I can't wait to see, of course, Darwin Núñez in a Liverpool shirt. But we will talk about him, Doug. Of course, the announcement did take forever yesterday to finally come out. It was every single hour. I think every single person was refreshing Twitter, and then finally about 7 o'clock the news broke. But first of all, mate, I want to get your reaction to, of course, Liverpool going out and getting, of course, the number one target that was Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, I'm delighted, mate. Absolutely delighted. I think it's a move we've been needing to make, and especially with obviously City getting Holland as well, bit pricey, but actually Sky Sports think it's like a club record fee, like with 64 million rising to 85. They're not taking that narrative. They're saying that it's like 85. So it's like, job. But anyway, delighted, and big shoes to fill. 27, and I have seen a lot of people moaning about the number. just give it a break. He's just joined. Like, he'll probably get like a new number next season, like the next again season anyway. But yeah, delighted, and I can't wait for him to get into the Liverpool team.
Yeah, no, exactly, and I agree with it. I think we had this conversation last night about people, complaining the fact he has taken over Divock Origi's number, and he's not been given. No, he's not been given the number 10. He's not been given the number 9, and I'm like, you do realize we still have players registered at these. And when you think about it, Liverpool will lose a lot of money because people have, had plenty of kits, with, for example, Mane and Firmino at the back as well, think they'd have to reimburse all of them as well. It's a free number realistically, and that's exactly what Liverpool have gone on and done as well. But, it's like the same with, Ali, for example. Ali was number 13 when he first signed for Liverpool, number 1 easily when it came available. So, for everyone that is like that, chill your beans. Evening Colin as well says, hello Helen, hopefully on a fantastic day, and hi to Doug as well. Brian Morris is in here as well. Hello Brian, hopefully on a fantastic day, my friend. Saying
hello
hi
Brian.
to Connor and Doug. Michael's in here as well, saying Liverpool need a younger midfielder with goals. Milner, Hendo is a waste of space, and the Ox, Jones, and Elliott ain't good enough to push Liverpool over City. I would disagree with that, my friends. I think you were in here yesterday as well, so thank you for commenting. But I'd agree with the age thing. I would say with James Milner and Jordan Henderson. But again, they offer so much quality for Liverpool. It's very underrated in my opinion. I think both, of course, James Milner, of course, he is getting on, but it's, you look at the players like Harvey Elliott, like Curtis Jones, they need that player like James Milner to help, development, then I would say. for sure. But yeah, Helen as well. Please be nice in the comments to one another as well. Of course, everyone does have a say as well. But Doug, I asked Steve this yesterday. Um, what would be the expectation for you concerning Darwin Núñez? Because of course, I think it's very much depending on what happens in preseason, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
Darwin Núñez could be a Luis Diaz that just comes straight into the team, knows the style that we play, and Klopp could be happy with him from minute one in preseason. But there's the other half of me that's it's going to be very similar, like a Fabinho, like a Andy Robertson, where it might take him a couple of months to adjust to what Jurgen Klopp demands of because it's interesting because I don't think me and you and Jack and that we've had this conversation of none of us think that Liverpool are going to be playing the same way as what we've seen over the past few years. But what
Yeah.
would be your expectation for Darwin Núñez for his first season?
I think I agree with you about the Fabinho Andy Robertson thing. I wonder if it'll be a bit like Kanate. Like Kanate's been given like the Champions League. I wonder if Darwin Núñez might be given that the Champions League potentially. But the fact that he's like going to be probably a record signing is that he'll probably play. He will probably play most of the games. But when it comes to the low block teams, Jesus, low block teams, that's a new one. Low block teams, I think we're going to play a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah,
So I think what's going to potentially happen is that you're going to probably have Diaz, Firmino, Salah, and then probably Núñez up front. I think that's what's going to probably happen. But expectations for me, I think anything between 15 to 20 goals this season in all comps. I think that would be a very, very good start.
yeah, absolutely. I would 100% agree with you on that. I think for me, I think I'd look at it more as goal involvement more than just goals. I think if you can
Yeah,
get over 20, if you can get over 20 goal involvements throughout the season, I think that would be a massive step up, of course. And again, I think it does massively depend on whether or not he starts the season. We've seen under Jurgen Klopp, there's only been a few players that's started right at the start of the Liverpool career. Of course, Alisson Becker, Virgil van
yeah,
Dijk, Luis Diaz as well. There's only been one or two or three players, as we've mentioned, has only started the Liverpool career straight off the bat. And like we've mentioned, Andy Robertson and of course Fabinho as well. Data's in as well saying evening. Hendo has been a rock. Milner's solid player and not done yet. Although I still see Klopp signing a midfielder before this window closes as well. Yeah, no, absolutely. I do agree with you on that as well, Data. And as well, guys, let us know your thoughts. If you're watching live or on repeat as well, your thoughts on, of course, Darwin Núñez officially becoming a Liverpool player as well. But we will move on to a slightly different story, and that is, of course, Sadio Mane has reportedly reached a verbal agreement with Bayern Munich to join them on personal terms. If we take a quick look at Fabrizio Romano's tweet, this was yesterday, going on about it, saying Sadio Mane has reached a full verbal agreement with Bayern on personal terms, 3-year contract ready. Talks will enter into the final stages with Liverpool. New bid set to be submitted. Liverpool are aware of his decision. Mane wants Bayern. It's really close now as well. I know, Doug, I know that me and you, we've looked on, the last offer, what was it, £25 million, and 5 million in add-ons where you'd have to win 3 Ballon d'Ors and 3 Champions Leagues in a row. For me, that was a huge slap in the face for
it
Liverpool.
was.
Look, Liverpool and Thiago, and of course, we had that brilliant working relationship, through the pandemic. Of course, we come out better of it because we got Thiago for 20 million or 5 million a year over 4 years. But you look at it and you go, for them to offer such a low number as well, especially because we're coming out of the pandemic era of the market and just the whole situation around it. And I think Liverpool have been fair, I would say. We've put our price £40 million for Sadio Mane there or thereabouts. it's still very, very cheap for him, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I think this is what's happened when you let the players run down their contracts, unfortunately. And Sadio is an example of that. Mohamed Salah is an example of that as well. I don't begrudge him of a move. Let me just say that now. I think Sadio Mane has been excellent signing for us. He's won everything that you could at Liverpool as well. So I'm not surprised that he wants to do challenge as well. My only concern is where he's going to play at Bayern. Is it going to be down the middle? Is it going to be to the left? Because usually he's been on the left, but I think there's been a different Sadio in there, a different Sadio down the middle. I think he's looked more dangerous this season down the middle. So I wish him well. I do wish him well. I think it's only a fee that needs to be agreed now. From what I've been seeing anyway, it looks like 35 million euros, which I believe is 30 million up front, and then I think something like 5 to 6, 7 million in add-ons. I think I've seen or something like that. Anyway, but I think if we can get the money for him that we paid for him, then we've made a profit on him, obviously. It's then a case of there's like the money coming in, so it'll be interesting to see who will come in. But Sadio, brilliant player, and yeah, it'll be very, very sad when he eventually leaves. We knew one of the front three, I think, were going to go. I think we've all kind of had this feeling. I think funnily enough, I think you said it actually when we were in Liverpool. You thought that Sadio would probably be the likelier of the three to potentially go, and look what's happened, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Sadio will do well at Bayern, and good luck to him.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's sad. I don't want, of course, Sadio to go. Personally, I love Sadio Mane. I think he's been, Klopp's main man. I know Mohamed Salah has got all the praise, and of course, rightfully so. Mo's been unbelievable for Liverpool, but Sadio Mane was the first, signing under Jurgen Klopp, the first big signing under Jurgen Klopp, and he's done nothing short of brilliance for Liverpool Football Club since he's been here. So if he wants the new challenge, of course, and I think the interesting thing, and I was saying this to Steve yesterday, for me, I think Bayern's situation, it's very, very weird at the moment because we all know, everyone criticised Liverpool and, FSG for the way we run our club. Bayern Munich are very similar. They do look at it as a business side of it.
Yeah.
And for me, of course, the big thing for Bayern Munich is Robert Lewandowski and Barcelona. Now, Barcelona supposedly are, in ruins, and everything is, they need millions and millions to keep things above boards. And you look at it, Bayern want reportedly £50 million or 50 million euros, I think it is, for Robert Lewandowski. You look at the wages, Lewandowski's on as well. If they kept Lewandowski on for another year, and bought Sadio Mane for the reported, £400,000 or near enough £400,000 per week. That leaves a big strain on, Bayern's books. Of course they've signed Gravenberch as well, and that's for me the only thing that's kind of jeopardizing the move for Sadio going.
I think it all determines on whether Lewandowski goes, but you look at recent stories with Barcelona, and they, excuse my French, but they're up shit creek. They really are. Like
I think we could give worse terms for that. To be fair,
they really are. Like the finances there are absolutely awful. But you know what? This has been a story of Barcelona overspending, and yeah, they're wanting every Tom, Dick, and Harry. They were wanting like Frankie De Jong. Like, if I'm being honest, I can't see Frankie De Jong leaving because Barcelona, I think, are wanting in the region of, I think, 110 million euros, which I think is like 95.
I think that will come down. I think
it'll come down.
I think it'll come down, but I think United will overpay because at the minute you look at it, because this is the other thing as well. Of course, we'll talk about Premier League fixtures as well coming out tomorrow as well. But you look at, I know United are currently going under, the rebuilds, but when you look
Yeah.
at it, nothing's getting done at United. You look
Nope.
at Liverpool, of course, Darwin Núñez coming in. Manchester City, fair play to them. Erling Haaland, of course, top class. Calvin Phillips as well. That deal looks to be getting done within the next week for City as well. And then you look at Spurs, they're doing tremendous business at the minute, but
Yeah.
I know the whole thing around Basuma, but Basuma for 20 million or 25 million is a bargain for the player of Basuma. And you look at it, United, Chelsea, Chelsea with Romelu Lukaku. You look at it, and I'm glad where Liverpool are at the minute, overall, because I look at teams like Chelsea and I look at teams at Manchester United, and even with Ten Hag, and I know it's a new manager, but they just look clueless to me.
Yeah, they do. And you know what? This is what I've been, saying. They remind me of a pre-Jurgen Klopp Liverpool.
Yeah.
And this
Prime
is
Brendan
it.
Rodgers.
Yeah. the sort of the end of sort of Brendan Rodgers kind of, but yeah, I mean, they're focusing all their eggs in one basket, and that is the Frenkie de Jong basket, and that is really, really worrying as a unit. Like if you're a United supporter, that you're going for one player, and then you're seeing like other targets disappear, like Basuma, like. That's a cracking business by Tottenham. Like they are going to be a big problem next season. The amount of players that they are getting, like I've seen, like I think, there's Perisic, Basuma, potentially Richarlison as well, Jed Spence, Pau Torres. Bloody hell! Like this is the thing, though, and I said this on another show earlier. The reason that Manchester United and Arsenal are struggling in the transfer window is because of Antonio Conte, the pull of Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte is a world-class coach. Mikel Arteta isn't. Eric Ten Hag has come to Manchester United and has already seen that the Glazers don't give a monkeys about Manchester
Well,
United. Let's be honest.
it's that, and the fact that number one target Darwin Núñez supposedly, just practically laughed at them. When they try,
Yeah,
because you see United fans on YouTube, and John, I'll bring you in a minute, mate. You look at it, and United fans to go, oh, we made Liverpool overpay and things like a blah blah blah. United were offering, and this is what a lot of United fans don't realise themselves. United supposedly offered, £100 million straight up for Darwin Núñez, and Darwin Núñez told Benfica, "No, I want Liverpool Football Club," and that's the thing, and that's the difference between a great scouting department, great transfer team. But you also look at United. If that rebuild is supposed to happen, I'm glad it's not. And I'm glad that United are in the misery. But you look at it and you go, it's laughable. You've got players practically telling them to piss off.
I tell you something. They're going the right way that we went in the 90s. It feels like they're going back like we did in the early sort of 90s. Honestly, Manchester United are an absolute shambles from top to bottom. And yes, we're absolutely enjoying this, and long may it continue.
Absolutely. John, how are you, you cheating bastard?
Not bad, you cheating bastards.
But yeah, we're talking about Sadio Mane going to Bayern Munich. Of course, the deal looks to be agreed personally. Anyway, but of course, we were speaking about Manchester United and their pull as well. But going back onto Sadio, me and Doug was going on about, of course, Bayern Munich and Robert Lewandowski, and that how Bayern Munich have structured their business similar to Liverpool's, I would say, and gone at it at a business a standpoint as well. Do you think that Doug mentioned a really good point as well? Do you think that Sadio would come in as a straight replacement for Robert Lewandowski if he was to leave to go to Bayern Munich, or do you think he's an addition to that Bayern squad?
I don't think he's a straight replacement. I think he's an addition. I don't think he's a replacement to Lewandowski. But everyone's saying the it's agreed personal terms. It may have agreed personal terms, yes, but that doesn't mean Liverpool's going to agree a deal.
No.
If Bayern Munich don't offer what we want, then Mane stays. Liverpool's not going to be decades and go, right, well, we'll take 25 million, we'll take 30 million. No, you offer what we want, or he stays, well, I'm going to free.
Yeah.
Even I'm not giving a Pope chance any deal.
I think if he stays this summer, I think the odds on him signing a new deal is up, because I think Liverpool just want to get his value up as well, potentially. For that case as well. But John's saying big up as well, you cheating bastards as well. We'll get on to moving on from Sadio Mane anyway in the next bit, but let's get into your comments. Barca just don't know how to finance their own money like it grows on trees, in their opinion. To be fair, they get bought by the bank every single time they have a problem as well. Liverpool need Mo Salah forever, because then there's no one else would play on the right wing as well. Says underscore. Hi Connor, Doug. Did Núñez pick number 27? Yes, he did, Gary, as well. I'm glad to see you in the chat as well. Jack McKindo's in the chat as well. Jack, get in here if you want as well. I know you're on the 1892 Reds podcast just now as well, but yes, the lads as well. And I know John was as well. Bellingham next, please. We will talk about Jude Bellingham in a brief moment. Smash those likes up chat as well. Yeah, if you could, very much appreciated. Brian says De Jong is desperate to stay, but United will make it happen, I reckon, as well. Yeah, I think it will. They will as well, to be fair. But let's get on then to, of course, what's next for Liverpool in this transfer window. And the one thing I want to mention, guys, before we do mention people bring it in, I want to mention contract extensions, because, of course, so far this season we've had James Milner, of course, extending his deal by a year. Of course, we've got the whole business with Mohamed Salah and like John mentioned, Sadio Mane as well, potentially. But and I think the obvious one would be Mo, for contract. But if there was one player that should have a contract, because if we take a quick look at, of course, next year's extend. Of course, we already know who's going to be leaving Liverpool this summer, with, of course, Divock Origi, and of course, Loris Karius will finally not be a Liverpool player. But if we take a quick look at 2023 on who expires as well, let me make that big screen for you guys. Anyway, as you can see, of course, you've got the main front three in Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, and Bobby Firmino, Naby Keita, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and of course James Milner after he signed his new deal. And if we take a quick look at 2024, it's the same type of players, I would say, as well. You look at the list as Thiago, Joel Matip, Joe Gomez, Taki, and Seb Vandenberg as well. Of course, be interesting to see what happens with him this summer as well. I know Preston were after him as well. But I think, are we all in agreement, guys, that Mo is the biggest contract that would need to get sorted?
100%.
Who would we say then should be the next player to get a contract extension? Because for me, I would say it's probably Joe Gomez, I would say, out of everyone.
Yes, I would agree. Because I don't think Joe Gomez is going anywhere this summer.
That's a shock for me as well, because if Chris is in, you would have said Naby Keita. I think Naby's is important, but I think
Naby Keita as well.
Do we think that the problem is with Liverpool at the minute? Because, of course, the whole debate around Mo's contract is, Mo supposedly wants 4 years. Liverpool are only offering 2 years at the moment. Do we think years are a problem at the minute, with Liverpool? The whole philosophy of, if you're over 30, you can't give them a big contract and, a long-term contract as well.
That's a myth these days. You see Cristiano Ronaldo, he's what, 37?
Yeah.
37, still going. So I don't get this narrative when players hit 30, they're done.
I don't either, to be honest with you.
We look at Leo Messi as well. You know, Messi's what, 35? Is he, Messi? And
Yeah,
if you're up there, one of the best around, you know, I think it's, you know, plain to see it, like, because I think the interesting thing as well, is if Mo was to get, you know, let's say 30 plus goals again, and you know, you can just straight up look at FSG then and go, well, you know, I'm in my 30s and I'm still performing, you know, up there the best, you know, the best I've done, and I think FSG have to be careful, and Liverpool have to be careful, because
yeah,
after January, of course, he can, you know, speak to and sign with whoever he wants to. And it was a
yeah.
very interesting point that I put in, you know, the 1892 Red podcasts. You know, I know people going on about Mo and, you know, the debate and that. For me, the big problem with Mo at the minute is not him, it's his agent. His agent will want
Oh,
Mo
yeah.
to go on a free no matter what. You know, he can
His agent
advise
needs to
Mo.
fuck off.
No, he will though, because what people I don't think are realizing is if he was to go, and if he was to, you know, go to, let's say, a Madrid or, you know, a Barcelona, you know, of course, he'd be a free agent who'd cost nothing, but the contract money would be unbelievable, and you already know the agent's going to get, you know, a huge fee off that, you know, contract thing. And I don't think many people are bringing that up. I think, you know, Mo would easily agree a contract if you put him in front of him, but I think it's his agent that is the big problem here for Liverpool.
Is
Yeah,
he too much in his ear? His
Hmm.
agent talks too much. His
Yeah.
agent should shut the fuck up and look out for the player.
mm,
John, do you want to represent Mo?
I 100% represent Mo. I put Lee down and say fucking center or you're getting fucking shot.
But yeah, Doug, would you agree with that as well, or do you think there's, you know, it's a bit more complicated with Mo's contract at the minute with Liverpool?
that's his agent, isn't it? He's a right annoying little bugger. Let's just be honest with that. He's childish, like some of the stuff he puts on Twitter as well. But he'll want the best possible deal for his client. It's quite simple as that. And you know, I think obviously God rest his soul, but you know, Mino Raiola was the best at that. He was the best at getting, you know, good contracts out of his clients. And yes, I know he's obviously gone, and which is very, very sad, because you know it's never nice losing anyone in the football world, and you know, especially a real driven football agent, and you know, Raiola, who
young as well.
yeah. Oh yeah. He was too young to go as well. But yeah, I think Salah's agent wants the best possible deal for Mo, unfortunately, and it's going to get to a stage where we're just going to have to make a decision whether to give him a new contract or not. But to the potential to lose him on a free is really, really worrying.
Yeah, no, it is 100%.
I'd offer him one more contract. I'd offer him 350, going up to 400, including bonuses. Well, a 4-year deal. If you don't accept that, then I'd sell.
I know you and Rick was having the whole debate in the other video. I think for me, I don't think Liverpool either sell him now or they don't.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't see him selling him in January, because if Liverpool are in a title race, or you know, in the hunt for the Champions League, I think Liverpool would rather keep him for the extra 6 months than to sell for what, 15, 20 million or whatever it would be in January. Personally,
business. FSG pride themselves on being smart businessmen. Well, being a smart businessman, letting Mo Salah go on a free is not being a smart businessman.
No,
that's a stupid business.
I think the thing is like I think, was it Dave Maddock mentioned that, you know, the Sadio deal would cost Liverpool around £85 million with what he wanted at the club. If that's the case, you'd expect that Mo's going to be somewhere similar for that. the big question is for FSG is, can they get a player in that's less than that? And that's, of course, transfer fee, wages, bonuses. Is it possible for them? I don't know.
How much are they going to cost you to replace Mo Salah?
No, exactly. It probably costs you. But you look on the market, if you're looking at right-sided players, of course, I know that Liverpool, if you guys remember, a couple of months ago, Federico Chiesa for Juventus was getting mentioned for around £100 million. The problem is with Chiesa, he is very injury prone. But you look elsewhere, of course, Jarrod Bowen. I know plenty of people will say yes and no on that. And then you look at right-sided players, the way Liverpool play, there isn't many, of course, players on the market.
That's the thing. If you bring £100 million player in, they're going to demand, if they're £100 million player, they're going to demand upwards of 300 grand a week.
Yeah.
Right? So you've already got someone in your club that's a £100 million player.
Mm.
Why not just give him the 300 grand a week? It's going to be a headache looking for a player.
Yeah.
It's going to save you money in the long run.
It is a big talking point, and guys, let us know in the chat as well. Like, we'll get to all of your comments in a minute before we do talk about transfers coming into the team. But I think it is, of course, the big conversation, isn't it? Now, from now until January time with Mo and his contract. Of course, I think things will heat up in the next month, I would say. I think then we'll find out whether or not, of course, things are going right or not as well. But I think at the minute, what got offered was a 2-year deal with a 30% increase than what he's currently on, which is or 15% increase, which is like 230k a week, which is stupid. He's never going to accept that, is he? Brian, that will be mad, mate, if they don't get a decent centre back desperately they need. I don't know what that's about as well.
It's about Manchester United, and apparently Timber is off the books now. Apparently that's not going to happen.
But Man United try to get a world-class centre back. Let's get Maguire.
I can't wait to play the YouTube compilation.
Breaking centre back, he's world class.
Yeah, the world's most expensive centre back. Jesus Christ. Núñez will score 35 goals next season, says Gary. I'd love it if it was. Lads in the chat, the age of our midfield, could it be an issue? We'll actually talk about that in a minute. It's a good point that Jack's brought up as well. Niall's in as well. Hello, Niall. Hope you're having a fantastic day, my friend. Doing big up, man. De Jong wouldn't want to come to a very disjointed club who will be playing in the Little League. Lol. Well, to be fair, he's already done that with Barcelona, playing Europa League football, and disjointed club. Don't think there is a bigger one than Barcelona at the minute. Naby will sign a new deal, hopefully, Gary. Hopefully. Hi, John, as well. Hi, Niall. I hope you're well, says Jack. Yeah, of course. I still can't do it since I've been ill. I think Doug can do it, but he's got to be.
Yeah, of course.
Naby, lads, extension, please. Yeah, fingers crossed. Mo, Gomez, Thiago are massive, such key players. That's for contract extensions as well. Gomez stays, says Gary. Bobby needs an extension. I think that's an interesting one that we haven't mentioned about Bobby. Do we think that he might get played around this season, with as an 8, or do we think that he'll stay as the Bobby role within the team?
I think his role will change, and I think what is going to happen is, I think I said it earlier, against low block teams, I think this 4-2-3-1 is probably going to be the way forward against these low block teams, and I think Firmino will be a big part of that.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Who would you play? Sorry,
I play Bobby as a 10. I give him a 2-year deal with an option of a third.
Yeah. Do you know what though? That I would like that, but it wouldn't surprise me if Barcelona would be sniffing around Bobby.
Bobby doesn't want to leave Liverpool.
No, he doesn't. He said he doesn't.
He doesn't.
He said he wants to stay. But I think the big news, the huge news coming out of Liverpool is the fact that they're letting him run down his contract. Whether or not they might just let him run down and then give him a new one, potentially on lower wages, don't know. But I'd love Bobby to stay.
I don't think wages will be an issue for Bobby. I honestly don't. If he loves the club, he loves Liverpool. I just think he'll be wanting a new contract, and I think it might be on reduced terms, like obviously James Milner did. But I don't think Bobby would complain, to be honest with you, because I think he's settled, and you know,
in the Origi road.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Well, it's that factor, isn't it? If Taki was to go, who does have that Divock role in the team? Because yeah, you look at it, if you were to go, on the front line, I think the main three, of course, next season is of course Diaz, Núñez, and Salah. You look then at the next team, Jota, Bobby. It's that right hand side for me if Taki was to leave. But again, like of course you've got Fabio Carvalho coming in, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones as well can play on the left. We know Jota can play on the right as well. So,
young kids, but
yeah, but I don't know. I think our second team is coming along quite well. It's just it needs not adding in parts, but I think with players wanting first team football, I think it's getting a bit empty. But we all know that Jurgen does love a thin squad. He doesn't like letting players not play football. That's why with Ox, I think at the Southampton game, he was frustrated he couldn't bring him on because it was such an important game. But with such a won't be costly. No, absolutely agree, Mitch. I don't think he would want a lot of money either. No, I'd agree. Gary says 4-3-3, Salah, Núñez, and Diaz champions. Fingers crossed. Absolutely, fingers crossed. Can you genuinely see one of these lads who have won everything from this team getting a statue like Shanks and Paisley? Very good question. Doug?
Virgil.
Divock Origi.
If it was me, I would give one to Divock. Definitely. But for me, it has to be Jurgen Klopp.
100%.
Has to be.
Do we see player at all?
Jordan Henderson?
Possibly.
Yeah, Henderson's a shout. I think the thing is though, I think the statues I think are a good way for managers. I think the murals that are around Anfield, I think that's a very good way for players. Of course, it's difficult because you've got to put them at a certain way in that. Recently, the Ian Rush one, and of course we already got of course the Trent and the Jordan Henderson one. But I think that's such a good way. Instead of devaluing the statue manner, then I would say, because I would agree. I think Jurgen Klopp, when he does leave Liverpool eventually, I think we'll 100% get one. But I think it keeps it special, doesn't it? For special managers, and not get me wrong, there's been special Liverpool players in the past, but I think like if you were to say, if anyone right now should get one, for me, it would be Kenny Dalglish. I know he's got.
Kenny Dalglish doesn't have a statue, then why should any other player get a statue?
He's manager though as well.
That's what I'm saying. But Dalglish was player manager, and he doesn't have a statue.
That's true.
Don't give it to any other player before we give it to Kenny.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Yeah, 100%. Cedric's in as well. Hello, Cedric. Saying hi.
Cedric.
Well, Mo's agent is the issue, not Mo. Yeah, absolutely. Luca says, great stream. Thank you, Luca. Hopefully, a fantastic day, my friend. Let me quickly scroll back up because the chat has refreshed from. Jesus Christ, there's loads of you. Thank you very much for commenting. Please keep commenting. Yeah, of course, I'd only say Trent, mate. Honestly, Scouser, and if he guided us to a lot more league titles. Still only 23 ahead. He deserves a statue if he stayed. I think, Trent's going to be at Liverpool forever. I would say personally. But yeah, Trent's another good shout. 23, still has like 14, 15 years still left of his career.
Yeah.
So, Jesus Christ, Trent's going to be unbelievable. And he's not even at his prime yet, and he's still so good. It's brilliant.
One trophy he can win.
No, the only thing now he could win is international football, which that's never going to happen because England are shite.
I don't even think he gives a fuck about that, but
no, exactly, he doesn't. He's Scouser, so he doesn't give a crap.
Yeah, England weren't hungry enough yesterday.
For God's sake.
Fuck's sake, Doug.
And that's the end of Doug's show. Thank you very much for tuning in, Doug. He's gonna hate me for that anyway. Let me switch us back around. But to be fair to Hungary, they were very, very good yesterday.
They were
against England. I think Liverpool have done everything possible to keep Salah, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's a very Wasm subject, isn't it? Yes, Cedric, hope you're well, mate, as well, says Jack. And yeah, of course, says thanks, Jack. I'd agree, but if Trent had one, I'd need a Stevie one as well. Yeah, absolutely, I would agree with you on that as well. But to go back onto the main question then, what's next for Liverpool in the transfer window? Of course, I know everyone now is going to be saying in the chat down below, and let us know your guys' thoughts as well on who you'd like in the door next. But John, I think everyone pretty much is going to say the same person. I would say, I know Calvin Ramsey, that whole situation is now relying on, of course, Aberdeen to come down in their estimation because they've suddenly changed their minds from 4 million to 6 million to 8 million, and now they want about 10 for Calvin Ramsey. But the big one for me is this man, and that is Jude Bellingham. I think that is the one that if Liverpool can do, and if Dortmund will allow it, I think 100% go and get him this summer.
In terms, just firstly, in terms of the Ramsey one, I think Liverpool went too far in negotiations. We will walk away.
We've seen it with Jamal Lewis.
I don't think we'll walk away. I generally don't think we walk away from this. He's too good of a player. We give them 10 million. I think the structure of the payment's holding it up. So it is. But back on the other one, everyone wants Jude. I'd win tomorrow from 85 million. Test the water, see what happens. I reckon we'll get him this summer. I genuinely believe we're going to get him this summer.
Yeah, I think that as far as we know, of course, the latest rumors yesterday was that Real Madrid are very interested in bringing him in the door in 2023. Now, Madrid have been Dortmund have said 100 million euros, which is around, of course, we know what it is for, Darwin Núñez and so forth. It's above 83 million pounds at the moment. But Doug, I know that, we've talked about, installments, and we've talked about, for me, even if Liverpool got the deal done this summer, similar to a Naby Keita, situation where we got the deal done and he was officially a Liverpool player, but we had to wait 1 year to have him, I would absolutely take that. I'd bite your hand off right now, because I think we mentioned it yesterday, and I think someone said in the comments, which I thought was a really, really good point. It's a World Cup year as well. If England did select him and he had a brilliant World Cup, you'd probably even double the valuation on him after the World Cup.
Yeah, 100%. And just back on the Ramsey thing, I think Aberdeen have been very clever in trying to get as much as 10 million for him, because I think they'll have obviously seen like Nathan Patterson, I think, went to Everton, I think it was for 16 million pounds, I think it was. So you can understand that Aberdeen are probably looking at that aspect. That, well, if Nathan Patterson can go for 16, then Calvin Ramsey can go for 10. In all honesty, but the thing is with me about Ramsey is that he is a very, very good player. He has a lot of traits to Trent, and I do think he is definitely a backup. For sure, a backup right back is what we've been needing, really, because Connor Bradley's too young for me. I think he's way too young. And if you also look at Neco Williams, like he'll be on the way out. Nat Phillips is probably going to be on his way out as well. Although I believe that's going to be potentially a loan deal, because apparently they see him as a long-term replacement for Mata, which is quite interestingly enough. But Ramsey will definitely be coming in. And then, I mean, Matheus Núñez is an interesting one, the Sporting CP midfielder. That could be a very interesting one. We could probably test the waters over there as well. I mean, getting a player from Porto, Benfica, you'd be going down the list now. You'd be going down the list of Portuguese clubs that we've been, buying from recently. But Bellingham's the one for me. If we could get a bid in for Bellingham, see what happens, then test the waters with like a bid of like maybe 80 million or something. See what happens, because never say never, because every player has his price, as they say. Every player has his price, and I think the thing is, if Jude comes, if Job comes, because there's been a lot of rumours about potentially Job Bellingham potentially coming as well, then Jude's going to probably follow him straight away. So, and they're both Liverpool fans. We all know this as well. So, I think that if one club came calling for Jude Bellingham, it'd be Liverpool. So, let's test Dortmund with a bid. But it's highly unlikely, because I can't see them selling both Holland and Bellingham in the same window.
It'll be the similar thing with us, isn't it, with Sadio Mane, where, of course, we identified Núñez and we got Núñez. But again, I think if Dortmund don't have that replacement lined up, of course, the deal is never going to happen. Because I think one of the things, we talked about, teams being honest and that. To be fair, Borussia Dortmund and another team that are, brutally honest, they'll give their honest opinion. Look, this is, I remember, was it last year or the year before with Jadon Sancho with Manchester United? They gave Manchester United a date. You sign him here, and if you don't sign him here, it's going to be double the price of what it could be to get him, because we want to get pre-season done. We want our players to be in our squad and in our thoughts. And I think that's similar with Jude Bellingham as well. I think they will be. Of course, they've already put the price tag out there. 100 million euros at the minute, and you look at it. If it depends on. For me, it depends on the Liverpool. Will someone force Liverpool to do the move? Similar with Spurs and Luis Diaz. I think if Liverpool were forced into the move, I think we'd do it without a shadow of a doubt. But again, it's whether or not Dortmund would entertain the fact of, even if Liverpool was to come up with the money, would they let Jude go? Because of course they could.
To be fair to Borussia Dortmund, they're another club that are in a mess. Like they sacked Marco Rose. Like look, we can all the Bundesliga has been Bayern's meat and bread, basically. All like the last 10 years that they've won it. Dortmund have been absolutely nowhere near. And I think the thing is, I think they're going to fall even further behind, with Leipzig potentially going to be up there as well. So I test them with the bids and then see what happens.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And guys, get your comments in as well. We'll read each and every single one of your comments, because we are a little bit behind as well. So thank you for everyone tuning in. I think there's currently 20 people in here, so thank you very much for tuning in. And if you're new around here, then please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button as well. It does help out, as well as of course, like the stream, lads and ladies as well. Very much appreciated. I know it's paper talk, but I love Rafinha. I know sentiment is priority though. I think it's currently a three-way thing between Arsenal, Barcelona, and is it Spurs for Rafinha at the minute? Was it Chelsea?
I think it was Chelsea, possibly.
I wouldn't touch him. Is that
Rafinha.
Yeah, it's attitude, especially in the last. Like I love like the player. I think he's brilliant.
His attitude's fucking rotten.
Yeah.
But I think he refused to play, didn't he? Like 2 games. Like I think it was. I can't remember who Leeds were playing, but it was like a 6-pointer. I think he refused to play, didn't he? Because he thought he was injured. But yeah, you don't want those players at Liverpool.
It was
Anyway,
Brighton, I think, wasn't it?
Was it Brighton? But who would you replace for Salah, chat? And lads, your top 3 picks. Ooh, that's interesting.
Tricky. I mean, number 1 for me would be Jared Bowen.
For me, if we're going not money objective wise, it would be Chiesa for me. I think he's brilliant.
I'd have Chiesa all day long.
Yeah, of course.
Can't think of anybody else.
Leroy Sané or Jared or Bowen. Jack as well. Connor will be climbing the walls if Naby Lad gets a deal. Luck will be live for hours if that was the case. Brexit, don't forget Carvalho as well. I trust Klopp and Julian Ward to buy the right players and sell the right players.
I do as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, isn't it?
We all do.
Yeah, we trust Jurgen now. We've trusted Jurgen for years now, realistically, haven't we? The fact that he knows he knows a lot more about football than what we do. That's safe to say anyway. Bobby
Definitely
should go to Inter on a free next year. That would be an intro. Well, just do a Lukaku, just come back the next year to Liverpool. Rafinha would be nice fit as well. Bobby can go anywhere. He hasn't moaned one bit the last couple of years. He's our second longest serving player, isn't he? I think yes. Yeah, Hendo, Milner, and Bobby. I think is the.
Yeah, it would be Bobby.
What did you say, John?
Did Bobby not come in before Milner?
I think he did. Yeah,
I think he
did.
did.
So,
yeah,
he is second longest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why he gets the captaincy quite a lot. If Hendo and no one else is there, Virgil or James Milner. I will probably get a new one when I say Naby isn't good enough. Get out here, Helen. Get out here. I'm kidding. He has shown glimpses of his talent, but I do think Naby needs to move on. I would disagree. If you look at stats and look at the positions where Liverpool need him, I think the problem is he isn't. If you're saying, Thiago, Hendo, and Fabinho are fit, Naby doesn't get into the team because he isn't better than those 3. But I think for a squad player, I think you can't get any better than Naby. In my opinion, Bobby would do well at Inter as well as Brian. When you see some of the statues that they make now, to be fair, I think City's one's hilarious. Like I think Aguero looks like, is it Marco Reus?
Tony Kroos.
This is Tony Kroos. Yeah, it was Marco Reus and Tony Kroos. Like,
and the Phil Foden one looks like Ross Barkley.
Oh, I know. And the funniest thing was it Ronaldo's one, the gold one, where his face looked like it'd been stamped on. Like Jesus Christ, like that was funny. To be fair, Trent could be Liverpool's most decorated Liverpool player in our history. End of his career. Yeah, it's frightening to think, isn't it? The King has his stance, John, as well. I think we agreed on that. To be fair, let me scroll back up. Because there's a load of comments. Thank you very much for commenting, guys. I keep clicking on refresh and it just takes it off. So if I do miss a comment, I do apologize anyway. To be fair, Kenny doesn't deserve any. You've forgot he bought Andy Carroll, for God's sake. But he bought Luis Suarez as well. Daz says, hi, who do you think we need, guys? I think Jude Bellingham. I think pretty much we're all in agreement with that, to be fair. Daz as well, but thank you for commenting as well. Ian Rush is our highest goal scorer of all time. If we are looking at statues, he has to get a mention. There's so many Liverpool players in our history that have been so crucial to the history. So it's gonna be hard to give everyone a statue, to be fair. I hope you're well, mate, as well. says Jack. I think that's to Oswald as well. Ramsey next, and then in midfield probably as well. I would agree. Smash the likes up, chat. Helps massively. Yeah, if you could, it'd be very much appreciated. Like I did say, let me scroll back up. I missed the comments again. What have we got to say? Doug, have you got anything to say?
No.
I thought you were going to say something.
No.
Sorry. Calvin Ramsey next, and maybe Joe Bellingham. Sell Keita for. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't even know if he is going to come in. There's been rumours, of course, but be interesting. Sell Neco for Ramsey. I think that's the plan at the minute, isn't it? I think Fulham. I think it's 15 million for Neco at the minute.
Yeah,
it's going to spoken about.
That's
Too cheap.
at least 20, 25 million.
I don't think you're getting 25 million for Neco Williams.
I think if you get at least 20, 25 million.
I think that'd be tough. Look, if there's any person that could, Julian Ward's team could.
Fair.
What do you say?
He's an established international player.
True, but the only football he's played is Championship at a consistent level, because he hasn't been able to do it in the Premier. Well, obviously, it's very hard to do in the Premier League in a Liverpool team that has Trent Alexander-Arnold as their right back. But I think it wouldn't surprise me if he went out on loan for the season with an obligation to buy, similar like to Harry Wilson that we're getting money for this summer, because Fulham couldn't afford it last year. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Ramsey and another midfielder, says Jack. We have until September, guys, when window shuts. Absolutely, there's still plenty of time for this. Of course, I already know all of us will be doing a deadline day show, which will practically just be non-Liverpool, because I'd expect Liverpool's business to be done and dusted anyway by then. To be fair, I reckon the water has been tested already, and we'll know the score as well, says Brian. I think that's concerning Jude Bellingham. Evening, lads, and chat. Hello, Jeannie. Hopefully on a fantastic day, my friend. Hi, Jeannie, says Helen as well. Let me scroll back up. Jack says, evening, Jeannie. Mate, hope you are well. Salah doesn't need any pay increase. He doesn't worth Liverpool mashing their wage. I think he's trying to say he's not worth Liverpool thinking the wage structure for. I think he is, to be awfully honest, though. I think he's amazing. John's just in Basel months. Bring in Ramsey, Carvalho, and Bellingham, and sell Mane, Minamino, Neco Williams, Nat Phillips, and two of the lads, to the ladies from the country. No, you can't. Give them contract extensions, Carol. You can't sack them. You absolutely can't. I think Liverpool do it on purpose, because there was photos yesterday with Darwin Núñez with the canteen ladies yesterday. I think they do it for a meme now. To be fair, Boss Tar guys as well, says Genie. Is Neco gone yet? Once we move him out, then we will sign Ramsey, I reckon. No, he's not gone yet, Jack. As far as I know, he's still at the club at the minute. I don't think there's been nothing on that, to be fair. Anyway, I could go back up. Jack said it would be a massive statement for the rest of Europe if we went and signed him and Núñez as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Neco is still a Liverpool player. Jack says must be hanging with Fulham. Easy get at least 10 million for Neco. Would you say, chat, as well? Yeah, Doug, would you say, what would be your estimation? I know John's just said 20-25 million, but what would be your estimation for Neco Williams?
15 to 20 million for Neco.
So we're not far off.
No.
How comes no one is going for Dennis from Watford? It's an interesting one, but no. just no. I think, didn't he get like 6 goals and then everyone was going mental about him?
Everyone was raving about him. Then didn't really work out in the end.
Absolutely, just laughable, isn't it, to be fair? Oswald says, would anyone here sell Keita to help finance Bellingham? Sure. No. Yeah, no, I wouldn't personally. I think to be honest with you guys, I think Liverpool have the money to get Bellingham.
What an offering for Tuchemini of 70 million. So the money is sitting there. So it's not we don't have the money. The money's sitting there ready to go. It's just whether we actually do the deal or not.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think again, though, I think Liverpool are waiting to get players off the books because I don't think Liverpool want to be stranded with, potentially if you were to bring in Jude Bellingham and then don't get rid of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, you're then stuck with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain for a whole year that I don't think do anything.
I just pay his contract off.
I think it costs too much, doesn't it? I think, to be fair, I think Liverpool would just rather leave him on the bench for a year. I support Man United, but I support your opinion. Sorry, United are shite. United are in a mess. But thank you for commenting as well. I should be nice, but United are shite, and I like it. To be fair,
it's not man shit.
To be fair, there were so many years where Liverpool were shite, and it's just nice to see now the United is, in that bracket at the minute. Man United are in a mess, but at least they are not plastic like City. No, exactly. Well, to be fair, it's going to be interesting to see how this La Liga protest investigation happens. I don't think nothing's going to happen from it, but it's going to be interesting nevertheless. Have I been living under a rock, or has anyone else seen the leaked green away kit? Dave just posted a short. Yeah, it came from, it was someone doing a ASOS shop, as Doug is kindly showing right now. It does look amazing.
Amazing. I hope that's true.
I hope that's true as well, because I'll be like, take my money.
Take my money. What do you want, cash or card? Take my money now.
Second it's released as a gorgeous tap.
Well, to be fair, I think that's the third one, isn't it? I think the away one, it looks like is it a gobstopper? The inside of a gobstopper.
Nice, I like that one.
I like it. Don't get me wrong, but it does look like an inside of a gobstopper. Well, to be fair, hopefully we'll be able to shut people's mouths in that. So technically, gobstopper. I did a Doug joke. Realistically, the best in the world is Bobby Firmino, and Helen is naughty. Naughty sport? I don't know what sport. I'm good, I swear. Lol. Manchester United and Liverpool are actually really good. Liverpool are, United are.
United? Good. Since when?
United are shite. I'm so sorry to tell you, Kat. But yeah, United are shite. Anfield is going to be like Crosby Beaches everywhere. Yeah, for God's sake. We have so many legends. City can't even field at least 11. I still can't get over that United. United's good. A post there.
Good old Sean Goater.
Yeah. Never mind the non-existent fans.
Good old Richard Dunn.
Steve Ireland.
Stephen Ireland. Who else?
Robbie Fowler.
That's true. To be fair, but sorry to interrupt, but like Wilson and Gruich's money as well. I forgot about. I wanted Gruich to stay last year, and I've completely forgotten the fact we sold him last season.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
We'll be live for another 5 minutes. Just try to get through everyone's comments. What are you saying, John?
Wilson didn't get a chance. They probably would have kept him. I don't know. Cracking the whip.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. To be fair, I think we were going to keep him when we to be Fabinho's backup, but then I think Liverpool just decided to sell. Bellingham is defo doable, but would Dortmund let him go now? But wow, what a statement if we did, says North Red as well. Hello, North Red. I haven't seen you in here tonight, so thank you very much for tuning in. Ten Hag will struggle, says Gary. Yeah, I would agree. Liverpool will never sign Bellingham because of the English tax. Look, I think Liverpool will if it is. I think Liverpool will. It's just I don't think it's if, it's when. I think for Liverpool now with Jude Bellingham. to influence though. That third kit is paying for the Salah contract. Oh, Jesus Christ. It isn't nice. It's almost poetic. 6 years, no trophies, and 10 years without a title as well. We lack cover for Fabinho. Does anyone think Tyler Morton could do a job there? I think Jordan Henderson's the cover, I would say, for Fabinho. But yeah, I think Tyler Morton could do a job, as my camera has decided to take a hit.
Yeah, Myler Torton. Oh, Jesus. Tyler
Morton. Oh no!
Oh no!
You can tell we've been on for an hour and 5 minutes.
Myler Torton, Jesus Christ! Tyler Morton, yeah, he's definitely one for the future. I don't know if those two are brothers. Myler Torton.
Might be too fair. The next statue needs to be Harry Maguire. He is always standing still. Anyway, that's a good comment. How much money is wasted on having our third kit? Having a third kit, does anyone know how much money is wasted on having a third kit?
Not a clue.
I don't think money's wasted. I think money's gained. Like, to be fair, if you're looking, to be fair, Nike has done amazing with away and third kits since they've signed for Liverpool. Doug's obviously modelling the what was it? The not last season, the season before's third kit, was it, or the away kit?
Yeah, it was the away kit. This one.
Yeah, so they have done well with away kits, but again, it's very expensive for people. I think was it £70 for just the shirt, which of course is ridiculous.
I remember days where the home kit used to be a 2-year kit.
To be fair, I think Brentford are the only club in Europe that still does it.
Yeah, I believe so.
Which is ridiculous.
Money, but
the thing, it's Nike and Adidas and all these other companies that new every year, and because when you think about it, it expires within a year. I know we keep it, but that's the thing, people keep up with the kits in that. 80 million plus Naby for Bellingham. I'm not sure Dortmund would sell, says Paul as well. Yes, Jack, hope you had a good birthday as well. Yeah, and that passed, and I think that's passed in Dhaka. I think that's supposed to say anyway. Liverpool are great, and as well.
I think it's because I said Myler Torton.
Torton, yeah, passed in Dak. Daxon pasta.
Daxon pasta.
God's sake. Right, I think we're going to leave it there for tonight anyway, but big thank you as well to my two guests anyway, of course, John and Doug as well. Of course, thank you to all of you guys as well. Thank you to all everyone that has viewed the video as well. I do very much appreciate each and every single one of you. If you've liked the video as well and subscribed, if you're new around here, then first of all, thank you very much as well. Please head over to the Dugout Football channel as well. Go over and subscribe there as well. I think the link is in the chat as well. If not, I'll put it in there later if I have forgotten to do so anyway. But before we do head off, guys, John, do you have anything else to say before we do head off, my friend?
No, I mean, that's no. Just
simple no. Tyler Morton's situation's just bugged you up. But Doug, have you got anything else to say before we do head off?
I think I'm doing my earliest live stream tomorrow for the fixtures, so that should be interesting.
Do you know what? Doug's going to be reading out, and it's like Man City play Bournemouth 6 times a week. But to be fair, that's supposedly meant to be the leaked fixture for Man City at the start of the season. So be interesting to see what happens. It'll be interesting as well to see who Liverpool get. Hopefully it's a first game at Anfield as well. But of course, we'll bring you on the channel as well. It won't be live. I'm not going to be doing that live first thing in the morning. Maybe mid-afternoon, we might bring the fixtures to you anyway as well. We'll have a look at it anyway as well. But big thank you to everyone in the chat as well. Jack saying, great show, lads. As always, also saying, where are the pre-season games? At the minute, there's the only pre-season games at the minute is the 2 in Asia with Manchester United and Crystal Palace, and the Community Shield at the minute. We'll know more in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, and all that good stuff as well. Have a lovely night chat as well, and North Reading, walk alone, y'all as well. But big up, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Anyway, hopefully we'll be back tomorrow with, of course, the Premier League fixtures. We'll have a look through them for you guys anyway, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you all then. But I've been Connor from the Cup Council. We'll see you all then. Ta-ra.